Good evening everybody and welcome to round 6 of this DTM 6 round. No, is it 6? Hang on, wait a minute. Yeah, this is round 6. Round 6 of this 6 round DTM League. We're at Hockenheimring, and we're riding with Rodders and a quick zip around the track. So we come up to the North Curve. Through the North Curve we're going to come up to the Einfahrt Parabolica, which is an offset parabolica on the exit. In he goes. Quick kink to the left, and then we're coming down the Misnomic Parabolica. This is actually called a parabolica. This long sweeping left is actually just known as parabolic, but as I said, Misnomic because it's not a parabolic. It might as well be a circle. Let's call it a square. Into the Spitz curve, which is the hairpin, and then we extend into tight left-hander into the Mobile 1 complex. The grandstand's in front of us there. 2,200 square meters of a footfall, Hockenheim. It's a pretty big old place. Nicely done by Rodders, well held, and out now extending towards the Mobile 1 curve. Very wide on the left there, but in order to come in and take a nice, carry lots of speed in, as it extends into the Sash curve, the real parabolica, which is offset on the exit. Now into the Sud curves with a double right into the main straight. And there's one complete circuit of Hockenheim, and that puts Rodders in second place. There we go. So yeah, as I said, welcome. This is round 6 of this league. It's been a really interesting league actually, with lots of players taking the top spots really. Helmet currently is winning the league with 176 points. Seahacks in second, who I don't believe is racing with us tonight. Then you've got Force number 1 in third place. 4th Tyrion Dave, 5th John D, 6th Rigel, 7th Rodders, only 2 points behind Rigel with 117. Then we go down to Rick Binnersley, joined with Rodders in 7th place really with 117. Thomas Ulrich and Scott Free, a relatively new member to RWB, but doing fantastic in this league and currently running in 10th. So we've got 10 minutes and 40 seconds left of qualifying. Still got some cars to go out. 27 runners out there tonight, which will be absolutely fantastic to see them out there. I'm not even remotely going to start doing sums and math with regards to who could possibly win or come second or third. I think having spoken to the math maestro earlier on this evening, Rodders, with regards to the points, I think essentially, Helmet can't lose. I think even if he comes off and decides to live inside the Armco, he essentially can't lose. Looking at Helmet now, he's had a fantastic league, really well done. First 3 races he came first, he won, and came third in race in round 4 at Monza, and second place in Nurbergring. So really very consistent, very comfortable in the DTM cars. So it's a fair assessment that well, as I said, it's not a fair assessment. He doesn't need to be out there tonight. He could be sitting at home reading a paper, stroking the cat with his small finger tapped between his lips. Me. So he's definitely going to win. Second place, though, Seahacks, like I said, sadly he's not out there. Just double, triple, quadruple checking he's not out there, no. And he's in second place at the moment with 163. And then you've got Force number 1 with 136 points. So with regards to who comes second, I think it's possible that Force could come second if he was to win or come second around here. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Cool, excellent. Right, so what can I tell you about this place, Hockenheim? Well, it's the GP circuit, obviously, with the extension away out from the cut of the Parabolica. So we've got the full circuit. So this is a 2.8 mile circuit, 4.5 kilometers, 15 bends. 7 right and 8 to the left. One of those is an offset parabolica, which is down at the Suds curve. 3 extended chicanes. You've got an extended chicane at just on the exit of the Einfahrt parabolica, a chicane in the Mobile 1 complex, and a chicane when you come out of the Suds curve parabolica. One long sweeping left, which as I said is the misnomic parabolica because it's not, which is the sweeping fast left as you come out of the Einfahrt. And 7 named locations. Thank God I can give you named locations rather than just T1 to T15. Great circuit this, lots of history, goes all the way back to 1930. First race in 32, which was motorcycles. Originally it used to go all the way through the woods in a sort of triangle shape, and over the years it's changed. Interestingly enough, during the Second World War, it was used as a muster point for logistics to support the German army. And they thought take down all the grandstands and then we won't stick out. But actually, I'm afraid it got severely bombed by the Allies. But onwards and upwards, post World War II, of course, Germany, wonderful country that it is, threw itself into industrialisation. There's reasons why the best cars in my world are German, yeah, rebuilt it essentially. They've got all sorts of events that happen around here, you know, motorcycles, touring cars, F1, F2. Well, F1 actually, interestingly, been dropped from the 2020 calendar. It was with us for 2018 and 2019, but dropped for 2020, which is a bit of a shame. But of course, they've had GT cars around here, and of course DTM. The DTM cars, actually, this is the last event in our league, Hockenheim, and actually in the real DTM series, actually in let me see now, in I believe it's 215 days. Yep, 215 days. On the 2nd to the 4th of October, the last race of the 10-race DTM League for 2020 will be where? Hockenheim. So quite fitting. Lap record in real life around here, by the way, was set by Pietro Fittipaldi, the grandson of the wonderful Emerson Fittipaldi. And set a time with a 1:30.401. Most successful racing driver around here for the DTM series in real life is Jamie Green for the United Kingdom. Most successful driver, 6 wins. And the best manufacturer around here for the most wins is Audi, with 24 wins at Hockenheim in the DTM series since inception, which is some record. Pietro Fittipaldi, the grandson of Emerson Fittipaldi and the brother of Enzo Fittipaldi. Now here's the thing, my brother was named after Emerson Fittipaldi, so his name is Emerson, and he was named after Emerson Fittipaldi because Emerson Fittipaldi asked my dad for a light for his cigarette in the 70s, and my dad, all starstruck, here you are, gave him a light, and swore from that day forward, I will carry the Fittipaldi name forward, and what I'll do is I'll name my first son Emerson. And of course, I was born. He then told my mum what he was going to call me, and my mum said, not on your bloody Nelly, mate. And so I was called something different. But, you know, he did keep the promise, and the youngest of a family of 3 of us was called Emerson, and picked on for the rest of his life. Yeah, and bullied a lot at school as a result of it. But it doesn't matter. Emerson Fittipaldi asked my dad for a light, and that's all that matters. What can I tell you about these DTM cars out there? Well, they're 500 horsepower V8s, very light, 1100 kilos. They're essentially a space frame. That looks like an Audi RS5, but it's not an Audi RS5. I can tell you that. An Audi RS5 is far more comfortable than what you're looking at there. And I can tell you that because mine is very comfortable. It's not as comfortable as FX's. FX's is a new one. but his has sound reverberating glass because it's not a V8 and mine is. Right, enough of that, Tyger. I've got it in. Always get it in for FX. I've got it in. Move on. Right, let's have a quick rundown of times. 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. So far, fantastic. Look at that. Scott-free. Scott-free in second there with a 1:33.733. Thomas Ulrich currently in the pits, but he's in first place at the minute. He thinks he's done enough, to be honest with you. He's sat back now having a cup of tea. Talking of which, where's mine? So Scott-free, yeah, from Ireland, our Irish RWB brother, doing very, very well up there in second place. Third place Rodders out there in the Merc with a 1:34.6. Actually, 1:34.3 actually. Yeah, 1:34.3. Visor is in fourth place out there. Visor, I believe Visor is from Albania, which is again wonderful and testament to the organisation of RWB International. Alwyn out there in sixth, which is great. Another relatively new member to RWB. He's done the whole of the league though, and he's done well, so good for you. Dave Crew out there in seventh. Helmet currently qualified 8th with a 1:34.602, but as he comes into where is he now? Let's have a look. Well, he's just gone through the Mobile One complex, hasn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what he pulls out of the bag. Coming into the Sud curve then, straight entry and an offset exit. Parabolica is a corner of equal radius, but you can have the terms inset and offset depending on the angle of the in and out legs. But there's Helmet there as he crosses the line. What does he cross the line in? 1:34.7. So yeah, back to the pits for his last minute or so as he realises that he's not going to beat that time. 8th. I am monitoring YouTube chat, by the way. A parabolica is indeed a corner of equal radius. Inset or offset. Anyway, so 27 runners out there. Currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in the pits. We've had a quick zip around the track. 40 seconds left. This is an hour's worth of a race. The final race of the DTM League, which has now been going since the 25th of January and has been immensely successful. So, you know, bags of well done to everyone. There's the final sort of rundown, as you can see there. Thorsten Ulrich in first, Scott-free. Well done, Scott. You're exceptionally pleased with that. Rodders in third. Rick Binnersley. Great to see Rick up there. Thoroughly deserved of a top quadrant runner in my view. Put so much time and effort and energy into it. Lovely to see him up there. Dave Crew in fifth. Alwyn in sixth. Visor in seventh. Helmet in eighth. Watch out for him. We'll be watching very closely. See Sam. See Through. See Mad. See Me. If you want to have a laugh, watch some of his YouTube channels, some of his YouTube videos when he loses his rag. My God. Eat a few more pies though, C-Sam. It's not really that threatening enough. But C-Sam currently in ninth. Again, watch out for him. C-Sam, very, very quick, very talented. And not the sort of place that he'll be comfortable with. He'll want to push and push hard. Good. So they've got a 5-minute warm-up now. Not necessary. They don't have to do it. It's not going to give them any advantage. It's not going to warm the tyres up. It's not going to do anything for them whatsoever other than just have a last-minute blat just to keep. Why would you want to do that? Well, just to keep the momentum going, keeping your muscle memory going. Or you might want to, you know, do that, which is what Audi's doing. Probably sharpening his axe or looking at whoever the next victim is. Or even that. Retiring. Not retiring from the race, but just retiring from work. Al Gartner there, our esteemed VIP member of RWB by virtue of attitude when it comes to sim racing and general attitude in life. I think one of these people has spent his entire life giving to his community, and it's lovely for a community to give something back to him, in this case a sim racing home. So you sit there, Al, and have a nice cup of tea. It's French. We'll have coffee. Now, why have I put it on Thorsten? I'll tell you why, because Thorsten's German. And Thorsten, being German, will be beside himself and absolutely seething at the fact that Hockenheim is not included in the 2020 Formula One calendar. That's right, it's not included in it. It's been dropped, which is, well, you know what? A Formula One calendar that doesn't involve a German track is a bit like saying, let's go on holiday to Great Britain, but we mustn't see a pigeon. Pigeons are British, end of story. You can't go anywhere in Britain without a pigeon shitting on you, and you can't go anywhere in Germany without coming across a fast road or a racing track. You know, historically, and no disrespect to any of my other international friends, but historically, you know, if you look at the historic sort of love-hate relationship and respectful relationship that Germany and Great Britain have when it comes to racing, it goes back beyond that of any other relationship with any other countries. Racing is Germany and racing is Great Britain. It's a bit like saying, you know, the Finnish, the Norwegian, the Swedish, they're just amazing rally drivers. It's almost in their DNA. It's part of their culture. You know, kids rally drive and are encouraged to do it. In Great Britain, kids are encouraged to be part of cadet forces at school. In Finland, they're encouraged to race cars. That's fact. And likewise in some places in Norway, I'm sure, and other Scandinavian countries. So it's such a shame that Hockenheim isn't part of the 2020 Formula One calendar. Fredrikos Vanger from Greece, good to see him out there again. Hellenic, by the way, that was the name of my bank. Hellenic. Nippon can confirm for England. Always Hellenic Bank takes their money back from Fredrikos and he comes off. But yeah, yeah, as I said, the Scandinavians just love their rally. You know, it is part of their culture, and it is part of racing and excellence. Racing and excellence is part of German culture. Whether you like it or not, I'm telling you now, it's fact. Yeah, quite gutted really. What's British culture? Competition is British culture, really. If there's a competition we want in, and we want to win it, we want to be the best at it, and it doesn't matter whether it's ping pong or racing. Interesting, isn't it? Different cultures and different things. Anyway, right off on one there. 4 seconds left before the race. Crikey, before you know it, I've done the whole race and just spoke shit. Please be aware, if you're not over 18, please ask your parents for permission to watch the rest of this video. Calls charged at 25p per minute. Please have permission from the bill payer before watching any further. Right, remember, damage is on, limited damage, so they can't flat spot, but they can start losing aero efficiencies and so on. 27 runners out there, 1 hour's worth of a race. They have got a pit stop, I believe, where they've got to change all 4 tyres. Flag rules are visual only, and let's now keep our camera on Dave Crew. Dave Crew currently, in fact, to tell you what, let's go smack bang in the middle. Let's see whether we can't grab all of them as we're watching Medicine Skull actually looking at the front here. Thorsten Ulrich on the right behind him. Scott Free, I believe. Oh, and that looks like Rodders has snuck into second place. Scott Free behind him in third. Thorsten is streaking ahead in front of these guys. Behind him, Dave Crew, Rick Binnersley and Vizar. It's Visor, I think. In cockpit then with CSAM. in cockpit with CSAM following on behind Alwyn. And you can see in front of him that long line, and looking on the wing now. Let's look on the wing, looking back now to Helmet. That's the guy that you want to be looking for. Helmet there being challenged from Helmet on the inside. No. Helmet being challenged by Beer on the inside. A cacophony of a fuck up behind there. 3 or 4 of them a breadth going through the Sud curve as we're now riding with CSAM extending into the Mobile 1 complex. But, you know, Helmet maintaining his position currently in 9th place behind CSAM with Steve Ferguson, old Fergie. Ferguson! As obviously an issue at the front there. There must have been an issue at the front there as CSAM has just taken Alwyn. But let's go wider shot in these early days. Looking at CSAM there, and as I said, you know, you've got Alwyn behind him and Helmet. Thorsten Ulrich in first, look at that, already got some dead space behind him. So Thorsten will cross the line in first place. Second place, Rodders. Third place, Scott Free. Fourth place, Rick Binnersley. Fifth place, Dave Crew. Visor, CSAM. Alwyn in 8th place. Helmet currently in 9th place. Ferguson in 10th place. 11th is Debug. Shout out to Debug, bloody good job. Debug's done the old commentary and stood in for me on a couple of occasions. It's not easy, this job, and so fair play to you. Have a great race out there, mate. Bugbear is right behind Debug. Audi currently running in 13th place. Oh, and there's a bit of a coming together there on the Spitz curve, on the hairpin. That was between, looked like that was between Beer and Debug. Not quite sure though. Pinpoint currently, Pinpoint smashes into a wall, sod it. Careful on the rejoin, understeers off. Not good form to really rejoin at that sort of place, but nonetheless, no harm done. So he rejoins currently in 16th place. FX right behind him there, riding in cockpit with FX. He's got Pinpoint in the sights there, coming into the Satch curve, the offset parabolica. I think Pinpoint's car is damaged. You can see his wheel geometry is all over the place. So yeah, quite right. FX wants to get shot of that risk in front of him for quite a while. Let's go to a wide shot. I think he's got him there. Yeah, as we see Pinpoint coming in. Good call, Pinpoint comes into the pits. FX currently running in 16th place. Nepone in 17th place. Fabio from Portugal in 18th place. Charger out there in 19th place in the BM. On wing with Charger, looking back there to Fabio's, very close, just dropped behind him. Fabio's got Marco on the inside, looking at Marco now in the BM. Oh, and there's a bit of an offset there. There's a bit of a kerfuffle going on there. Let's see what, I think that was Menacing Skull. Oh, that was Helmet. Stop press. Helmet is now down into 24th position. That is not good news for him, but what I do know is that, you know, he can pretty much stand on his head for the rest of this race. He's still going to win it. You know, people mathematically can't catch him. He is that far in front, but that doesn't make any difference. You know, that's not going to make any difference to him. He's still going to want to put in a good show on this. So he will be driving forward and doing the best he can. So we'll keep an eye on him. Marco, I said, currently running in 19th place. Looks like he's being challenged there by Taz. Excellent to see Taz out there. Taz currently in the green and yellow Audi. Don't see enough of Taz out there. I think he's got all the idea, all the kit, all the gear, no idea. And by that I mean he's got all the sims, all the gear, but just one of these poor guys that just life doesn't allow him to, do it. It's either children, job, car, truck or something else. So he doesn't race as much as he wants to, but you know what, he is tonight. It's good for you, Taz, currently running 20th. Al Gartner currently running 21st, enjoying real life retirement. We'd like to see more and more of Al out there because it's just such a pleasure to watch. Pazza, one of our newer members, Pazza out there in 22, good for you. Helmet, as we said, already now up to 23. Robert de Vries in 24th. Menacing Skull in 25th. Menacing Skull. That's what I'm going to call him Munching Skull. The Munching Skull is currently 25th. Muncher, as I like to refer to him as. Muncher is either right up there and exceptionally talented, or right down there. There doesn't seem to be a sort of, it's like a roller coaster, up and down, peak and trough. Give us a straight line, Muncher. Let us know where you are. He is talented, there's no question about that. Perhaps this isn't his track, or this car isn't his car, but I have seen him, be right up there with the quicker ones. Fred Recross down in 26th, and Pinpoint, as we saw earlier on, had that problem in the pit stop. And it looks like the bumper has been repaired by an apprentice currently on day 3 of a 4-year engineering program. Look at the state of that front bumper. It's been put on with blue tack. Pinpoint then in 27th, but still out there, and he will push to see as best he can. Right, now back to the racing. Thorsten way out there now, 0.35 seconds in front of Rodders in second place. On the wing with Rodders looking back to Scott Free. That's where the threat is for Rodders. Scott Free going to a wide shot. Looks like Scott Free is going to go for the inside. He has got the inside. Yeah, he did have the inside. He had the inside. Perhaps Rodders didn't see him. A little bit of a tap there. But at the end of the day, Rodders went into Scott Free there. Scott Free did have the inside. But no harm done. Rodders now in third place, Scott Free into second place. Well done, Scott Free, but you really don't want that man on your tail, but he is nonetheless. Don't forget DRS is active, so cross the line within a second. Riding in cockpit with Rodders now. Cross the line within a second, and he'll have DRS. We're going to have to go to the wide shot, I think, just to really capture the fight between these two. Good move by Scott Free. I don't think Rodders moved to the inside line for the Spitz curve, purely because I don't think that he thought that he didn't have the pace. But Rodders now opening up the DRS. Now you can see that with the green DRS on the, or Scott Free, sorry, opening the DRS. But Rodders definitely got DRS from being so close. But yeah, I'm surprised Rodders didn't go for the inside line on the Spitz curve there. But and as a result of not doing that and not changing the racing lines, Scott Free did. Rodders now on DRS, riding with Rodders. Let's ride with Rodders, gaining on him. Surely Scott Free will take the inside line, which he has. Scott's Free on the inside line, side to side, coming into the Spitz curve, but Rodders has got the just got it in front of him. Yeah, there we go. Good move by Rodders, taking back the position. But I've got a feeling that these two will play the DRS war backwards and forwards, and that long sweeping left, the parabolica into the Spitz curve, will be the nemesis for both of them. A righteous infliction of retribution manifested through an appropriate agent, in this case the parabolica into the Spitz curve, the nemesis. Yeah, so Rodders and Scott Free then having a lovely little battle there. Rick Binnersley in being chased down by Visa. I keep calling him Visa. He's not a Visa, is he? We should call him MasterCard. Being chased down by HSBC Debit. Alwyn chasing down Visa. It's not Visa, Tyger, it's Visor. I know. Visa doing very well in 5th place. On the wing with Rick Binnersley. Rick just done a last lap at a 1:36.090 in comparison to Thorsten with a 1:34.1, 2 seconds faster. Quite significant. Wow. Visa though, putting the pressure on and keeping the pressure on. Good for you. Behind him though, we're looking back now to Alwyn, and beyond Alwyn you can see Dave Crew on the wing with Alwyn. There's Dave Crew, and Dave Crew currently sitting in 7th place, both of them with their DRS on now, down into the Spitz curve. This group of 4, led by Rick Binnersley, Visa, then we've got Alwyn and Dave Crew. So you can see where they're using their DRS. They're using their DRS in the Parabolica on the exit from the Spitz curve into the mobile complex. This is what we're watching Dave Crew come into now. And these are all comparative, these guys, you know, you're looking at Rick Binnersley, who's done a 1:36, right down to Dave Crew, done a 1:35.9. So this group of 4 are within 1/10 of each other, essentially, give or take, around here, which is pretty good. So beyond that then, what about Ferguson? Ferguson, see me after school. Fergie currently in 9th place. He's got some space, he's got some air. He's got 5 seconds to beer, and he's got a good 2.5 seconds clearance behind him from John D. John D currently running in 10th place. Behind him we've got Gabsy. Gabsy, that really is his picture up there, by the way. I don't think he loves sheep. I think that's right. I think we should get rid of that. I think that's racist. Gabsy's my rallying buddy. Currently, as it looks like he's going to be taken there by Audi on the inside. Let's have a little look there. Wider shot. Audi gone to the outside. Gabsy on the inside. He's got the line. But Audi's quicker out the exit, surely. And back there, I think there was a problem there as we're looking at CSAM. CSAM had a spin off of the Spitz curve. He will be spitting spins right now with the turning circle of an oil tanker. He tries to get that Merc back on track, but he succeeds, but lost 5-6 positions there. CSAM now way back down into 22nd place. He will not be happy. There will be plenty of patta patta patta. I don't even know if that's a word or if that's the right word, but I think he'll be swearing a lot. Never mind, CSAM. Hold it together, lad. Gabsy, I said, my RWB rallying buddy, me, him, and Fearless 420, currently running in RWB International Team A. Gabsy goes wide. Audi says, thank you very much, I've got a better drive, and I reckon Audi's going to challenge coming down the main straight with DRS. Surely, Audi challenges coming into the first corner of the north curve. But no, Gabsy keeps it tight now, coming into the Einfahrt Parabolica, not really a Parabolica to be honest with you, it's a right-hander with an extended chicane on the exit. Oh, and it looks like Audi there. Let's just take a look at Audi. No, it wasn't Audi, was it FX? No, oh God, people are going off everywhere. Napone, Marco, I think it was Menacing Skull, was it? Goodness gracious me, there was a huge amount of cock-ups going on there outside on the exit of the Einfahrt. But as I said, Gabsy earlier on, part of the rally crew. Rick Binnersley obviously had a bad line coming out there. That group of 4 there, we can see that Alwyn eventually took Rick Binnersley. And now leading that group of 4, Visa is leading the group of 4, followed by Alwyn, followed by Dave Crew, followed by Rick Binnersley. 5/100ths of a second between these 5/10. No, not 5/10, 5/100ths. So Rick Binnersley currently in 7th place. We were talking about Gabsy. Gabsy was being challenged by Audi. I'm sure Audi was in the Red Bull. Let's check. Yeah, he was in the Red Bull. But who else was in the Red Bull? I'm not sure. We'll see who it was. Audi currently running in 10th place. You can see on the screen there now, I don't have to tell you about the ballast side of things. There is ballast out there, and the ballast is worked out by their average over 10 laps, and then a formula that Einstein needs to be alive to work out, but of course we have Speed Demon, and that works out your ballast for the race essentially. Let's take a look at the wing of Debug, because being challenged by Gabsy there in the blue and green Audi. Gabsy only 0.3 of a second behind Debug. Coming into the Spitz curve. Oh, and Gabsy goes off straight through the barriers, skidding straight ahead, understeers ahead, straight into the Suds curve, into the Spitz curve. Very, very lucky there. Not sure what happened there, but you know, had a good run on debug. Thankfully, has not lost any positions, but what he has done is lost the time bonus that he had, the time benefit that he had. Gabsy's also got a slowdown as a result of that for track limits abuse. Well, I'm not sure it was track limits abuse, was it? I mean, he just went off. That's what happened there. He didn't abuse the limit. But debug currently running 11th place with Gabsy challenging in 12th. Napone out there in 13th. Currently there's a bit of a battle going on with Helmet looking back to FX. And I said watch out for Helmet. You know, he was 8th, 9th and then went down to 24th. He's now pushed up to 15th place, being challenged by FX, who's not letting up whatsoever. So far I can see that we've got 3 retirements, I believe. I believe we've got 3 retirements. Just have a quick check. Retired. That's Fergie, Fabio and Taz. I think you'll find that they have retired. But this group here, Marco, Helmet, FX. Marco in the BM, FX in the Red Bull, sandwiching Helmet as they're now coming up to what I think is Menacing Skull. No, not Menacing Skull. No, not Pinpoint. And no, not Robert De Vries. So 3 aside, 3 abreast now. Crikey, three wide. Few door scrapings going on, but otherwise not too bad. Someone else out there in another Red Bull Audi. Not sure who that is, but they had a bit of a coming off. Let's jump into cockpit with Marco. And we can see that Red Bull there. I think it was FX. Yeah, it was FX. FX with Audi and FX both in the Red Bulls. And then we've got someone else back there who I think is being lapped. Very difficult to work out what's going on here, to be perfectly frank, without the names. And the timings are out of sync. So we're looking at FX there, riding in cockpit with FX, looking forward to Audi and to Marco. Marco in the white BMW, Audi in the Red Bull BM. On wing with FX looking back to Napone. It looks like he's challenging him on the inside. No, so it was Napone in the pink Merc. This lovely group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars here, really having a good battle. Napone on the inside, FX on the outside. Behind them, cockpit view with Charger. Going to a wide shot now, looking at Charger, just seeing all of them in front. And someone's come off there, and I think you'll find who's that. That's Marco. Surely that's Marco. Yep, that's Marco. So he's lost a good. Oh, and a bit of wheel spin there, making. I think that was Al Gartner, making Al Gartner go off, but Al keeping it together. Manages to get back on the grey stuff there. Not Marco's fault at all. There's no traction control on these cars. They're super powerful in first and second gear. You've got to be very, very progressive on the throttle or you'll just spin out. Thankfully, Marco held it together. No harm done. Al would have had a little bit of a squeaky bum moment, but ultimately, he's kept his cool and maintained his pace, and he's back on the grey stuff. And chasing down RWB Pazza on the wing with him, looking back to Al Gartner. Has just come through the parabolica there, as Pazza now goes through the extended S's and into the double right-hander. Now onto the main straight. Behind Al Gartner there, we can see Marco, riding with Marco there. Just see whether he closes the gap up on Al Gartner. Yeah, the north curve, that corner back there is either a corner that you get right and will seriously benefit from, or a corner you'll get very wrong and it'll bite. Through the Einfahrt parabolica, and then through this extended S section. DRS on for Marco. Now Al Gartner will not have had any DRS. He wasn't within a second of Pazza, So Marco will challenge coming down into the Spitz curve, undoubtedly on the inside. We're looking at him, he's 1 car length in front. Al Gartner says fair play. But probably too deep and too wide, and allows I think that was John D through, oh sorry, it's CSAM, I think that was CSAM, yeah. CSAM has now taken place from Al Gartner and is now hunting down Marco. Charger and FX having their battle there. We're currently looking at FX. Charger just taken the place of, sorry, FX just in front of him actually. In cockpit now with Charger. There's FX there. Oh, and just slightly offset, slightly skew there, coming out of the extended S's out of the Suds curve, and out of the Sachs curve, coming into the Sud curve. Now you can see FX actually drifting through there. So mechanical grip pretty poor for FX coming through the Sud curve. Through the North curve, how does he fare through there? Yeah, both over the rumble strips, and you can go fairly wide through there. But ultimately, all of them chasing this man. Audi, currently in 10th place. These 3 Red Bull liveried cars. Audi in the BM, Charger in the BM, FX in the Audi. FX, let's go to wide shot, very, very quick up into Audi. It's gone on the inside, and he's certainly, certainly right alongside, and quite rightly should hold the line there. Oh, and FX now has a little spin. That's the typical, and you see someone else there. I think that was Menacing Skull. No, it wasn't. It was Napone. Yeah, Napone. Exactly the same thing again, basically. That, and look how many places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. Napone loses, and he's in a very precarious place to rejoin the track. Fair play to him for recognising that. As Robert De Vries passes Napone, and that was good driving by Napone there. Even though he lost so many places, he kept his calm, kept his nerve. He couldn't just rejoin smack bang in the middle. He needed the space, and that was a good lesson of how to rejoin. You've got to rejoin in the space, and if you don't, then you're going to make someone else's race finish fairly early. That's the difficulty with the Spitz curve, is that you're more often than not you're on a first gear exit, and what a lot of people do is change early to have that additional traction. Your German pronunciation sounds as if you were not German. That's right. It's because I'm not fucking German, Groink. I'm from Great Britain. What is anything wrong with being German, of course. 1, 2, 3. Right. Back to the racing. Rick Binnersley, wow, up to 5th place. Chasing down now Dave Crew, who is now up into 4th place, which is great news for these two. Dave Crew currently in the league is running 4th with 132 points. So this will be good for him to have a high finish. I don't see force number 1 out there, who's currently running 3rd in the league. And if he were out there, he would be in a good position to be able to gain some points for 2nd. But he's not out there, is he? And Dave Crew is on 132, so currently running in 4th place. He's going to gain up some. He's going to grab some really important points there. So this could mean a podium finish for Dave Crew with 35 minutes left. Of course, it's still an early game, but this is how important it is to him to be right up there as much as possible and secure those top positions. Secure that top position, currently 4th. So great for him. Being challenged though by Rick Binnersley on the inside into the Spitz curve. How do you pronounce Spitz curve? I'll tell you how to pronounce it. Spitzkehr, which is actually Spitz curve if you're from the south of England like I am and talk like this. But I think in German it's actually Spitzkehr. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing any more. Right. These two very racing really well. I'd like to see that from these two. Great stuff. Little battles going on. Let's take a look. Charger and FX and Audi. These three here. Audi not really, you know, too worried about these two because actually, where is the pressure? Is the pressure from Audi? No. Is the pressure from Charger? No. Where the pressure is there. FX. FX is under pressure from Charger. In fact, what am I talking about? Charger is under pressure from FX. So Audi's under no pressure. Let's ride with FX actually, in cockpit with FX. Let's go on to dash cam, let's have a central look. Yep, wonderful. With FX. Charger is the one under pressure. Wow, he put that DRS on early coming around there. You surely don't want DRS coming into the north curve, definitely not. Well taken there, lots of speed carried through, but then again so did Charger. Coming up to the Einfahrt now. And now into the Parabolica. Good question from Groink 1, just as a reiteration. Thorsten Ulrich, our friend from Germany, is out there currently winning in first place, carrying a ballast of 43 kilos. The last lap was a 134.725. To be perfectly frank, no one is touching Thorsten out there. But he's not winning the league. Winning the league currently is RWB Helmet. Thorsten is currently running 9th in the league. And if he wins this particular race, he will grab himself, I believe, 45 points. Let's have a look. Yep, 45 points, which will put him up into 155, which is a possible finish in the top 5 positions, with him currently in 9. So this is a really good, important race for Thorsten from GX3, great bunch. To win this race, but I mean, he really is out there in a commanding position. He's 14 seconds clear, and he's now coming up to a back marker, as we can see. Currently, it looks like we've got 5 retirements. Menacing Skull retired, John D retired, Taz retired, Fabio retired, and Stephen Ferguson, see me after, retired. So we've now only got 22 runners out there. Bit of a battle going on with Beer, CSAM and Visa. Beer, who we're looking at there, chasing Marco in the BMW. Behind him, CSAM. In cockpit with CSAM. I think there was a little bit of a... Yeah, in cockpit with CSAM now. Looking to the back of Beer in the Audi RS5. Just overtaken Marco now. Coming into the north curve. The Nord curve. Good driving there from Beer as he extends away now down through the Parabolica down to the Spitz curve. Great job. So Beer then into the Spitz curve, being chased by Marco, CSAM and Visa. MasterCard. Visa on the outside there, look, coming into the Mobile One complex, but he's got the line 3 wide. Come on, gents, come on. That's not on. No one benefited from that. Marco hit CSAM there. Visa, no one benefited from that at all. No one was going to give way, and sometimes you've got to know when to actually pull back. That said, no harm done, I don't think, although I think CSAM will be spitting feathers. Beer now, or sorry, Gabsy now, part of that group there, and now chasing CSAM, Visa and Marco. All that happened there with the 3 wide and the little battle they had amongst themselves, as we just see there going in, Marco into the pits. CSAM chasing Visa, Gabsy right behind him. On the wing with CSAM, let's have a look now. Gabsy has got DRS. CSAM activates his. Gabsy's keeping his. I think he was within a second. Oh, and it looks like I've just looked at Discord. It looks like I'm joined by John D. John, how are you?
Oh, well, I'm fine. They ended a bit abruptly, the race, but that's what you get for not preparing properly.
What happened? I see you retired. What can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, for turn number 1, I caught the rear end sliding out on the curb there, and I went front first into the concrete wall, which resulted in a red engine. So, yeah, game over.
Oh, that's such a shame. And you were doing all right in the league as well, I believe. I mean, I'm just looking at the scores now. You were 5th. You done exceptionally well in the last one. You won the last league, so you know you must be a little bit disappointed. But there's a fair point you mentioned about preparation, training, and things like that. I mean, this is, you know, for all intents and purposes, if you're not a sim racer, this is a game. But actually, you know, if you're a little bit serious about it, you call it a sim. And if you're a little bit more serious about it, you put real life time and effort and energy and commitment into training for it. And you've undoubtedly done enough of that. So yeah, it's a fair point you mentioned about preparation. But what do you think of the damage model on this for the engine? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, the damage model is limited damage, I believe, but the engine is placed at the front. So when you go head on into an object, the engine becomes red quite quickly. And to be frank, I hadn't put enough time into doing long runs in the DTMs on this track, so I couldn't control the car properly when the tires started to wear. And well, that's what happens when you slide around.
That's a shame. Well, you know, you're welcome to join us for the rest of the race. I don't know whether you can see the stream or whatever, but you're welcome to stay around and hang around. Currently watching Thorsten as he's just coming into the pits. He and Scott Free have not pitted yet. I'm expecting Scott Free to come in, not on this lap. I wouldn't assume he would come in on this lap. Look at that commentator's negative curse, in he comes. I would have expected him to go out one more actually and extend away as much as possible. But Thorsten in first, Scott Free in second, now coming in. Now, more importantly, where is Rodders? Rodders is in third place, but he is already pitted. So Rodders will now take first place as he goes along the main straight. Where is Thorsten? Thorsten is now coming out, and Thorsten has come out 6 seconds. There's Rodders in the background there. 6 seconds in front of Rodders, so maintained what was essentially, you know, a 14-second lead, you know, down to 6 seconds. He was able to come in the pits, change tyres and come out and still have enough space. Crikey.
Yeah, it's a short pit stop on this one, and the DTMs change tires very quickly, so the pit stops are short, and we can do it without refueling on a pit stop on this one, so you won't lose too much on the pit stop side.
Yeah. First 4 places then. Thorsten Ulrich in first. Rodders in second, chasing him down, 6.2 seconds behind him. Scott Free in the BMW, following Rodders, 3.5 seconds. Good show from him. Really good to see him up there. Dave Crew, who I think will benefit most than anybody else by being in the top 5 by virtue of his current position in the league. Rick Binnersley, 4 seconds behind him. Sorry, 4 seconds, 9 seconds behind him in 5th place. Again, pitted. Alwyn in 6th place and chasing down, as you can see, Rick Binnersley in the yellow BM. Audi, the first of the front runners, who has not yet pitted, being chased down by Charger, and we can see both in the Red Bull liveries. So I'm expecting Audi and Charger, both of which not yet pitted, to they're either going to do the long run, or you know, it looks like most of them have pitted around about halfway mark. What was your pit stop strategy going to be, John?
I would have pitted around the time I crashed, to be honest. The 32 minutes, I think, is the perfect time to pit on this. You wear the tires a bit more in the beginning than you do at the end, and if you go in on the lap, which you are on the 32-minute mark, you end up coming out about 30 minutes left of the race, maybe a lap more, but I think it's a better way to extend past the 30 minutes.
Yeah, very interesting, thank you. As we saw Charger there just go into the pits as part of that two-man ship, two-ship man, two runner race, 2 drivers, 2 whatever, which was Audi and Charger. Audi has stayed out for another lap. Be interesting to see where Charger joins and when Audi comes in. On to Alwyn SW, or I'm just going to call it Alwyn, chasing Rick Binnersley, and in cockpit with Alwyn. Rick currently running in 5th in the yellow BMW there. His last lap was 1:34.9. Alwyn's was 1:35.2. So, you know, in theory, Rick is faster than him. But it just seems that now, you know, Alwyn is in a position to exploit DRS, which he'll get if he's in within 1 second. Whereas, of course, Rick won't. We'll stick with Alwyn for a little while just to see what happens here. Just coming into the Sachs curve, the offset parabolica. offset on the exit, don't forget, on the entry. And we'll see whether he's able to use DRS to his advantage and challenge, which I think will be down towards the Spitz curve, if anywhere. I think he'll just be within DRS range.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah, he should be fine there, shouldn't he? Yeah, there we go. So we know Alwyn has got DRS. There's Alwyn there. And having that DRS, John, really allows you to, well, almost to brake later. It's almost like there's that much less pressure on the car in the first place, that when you usually find with people with DRS, when they brake, it almost looks like they're braking a lot later and a lot easier. I don't know whether, I think that might just be bollocks, to be honest with you, but that's what it looks like.
It comes mostly from the fact that you have much higher top speed when you reach the end of the stretch and you start to turn in, and the fact that your braking is compressing the distance between the cars anyway. But the main benefit of having DRS is that you can stay behind the car in front of you. It's really difficult to get rid of someone behind you with DRS unless you are a second faster than him when he has the DRS. So it's a bit of a pickle that Rick is in now.
Yes, thank you. Well explained. Far better than I did. And of course, Alwyn has only got 8 kilos of ballast, whereas Rick Bennesley is carrying 22 kilos. So he's up against it already. And as you say, yes, thank you, Cos. I'm fully aware of what a DRS does. This YouTube chat, just to let you know, it's a spoiler that extends like an air brake. I know. Yeah, no, it's well explained, better than I did, purely because of the top speed. But more importantly, Rick Bennesley, 22 kilos of ballast, whereas Alwyn is only on 8 kilos of ballast. How much ballast were you carrying, John, and did you notice the difference?
Oh yeah, you noticed it very well. I think I had about 77 kilos today. The curse of the manufacturer ballast on top of the normal one, so it was 30 kilos extra on top of my 47 normal, so 77 kilos.
Wow.
So yeah, you notice that on there's a few tight turns with acceleration. You notice it very well with the acceleration. Not so much on the high speed turns, but definitely on the tighter turns when you accelerate out.
Yeah. 44 gear shifts around here in real life. These DTM cars will do around here. They'll change gear 44 times. They'll do up to 183 miles an hour, 295 kilometers an hour. And of course, as you know, if you follow DTM, then you'll know that of course Mercedes aren't in it anymore. It's Audi and BMW. In fact, Aston Martin came in but dropped or pulled out as a result of contractual issues with HA and the engine parts. So 2020 is going to be quite an interesting season for DTM, I think. And I said earlier on, John D, right at the very beginning, ironically, the last race of the 10, which finishes on the starts on the 2nd of October. The last race is at Hockenheim, which is where our last race is here.
I don't think that's a coincidence, knowing that it's the speed that set up the race calendar. I think he's pretty much aware of it when he made the rotation of this.
Yeah, of course it is. He's clued into everything, isn't he? Right, let's have a rundown. Let's bring everyone up to speed, because now everyone has pitted. So you can see the running order. You can see the running order on the left-hand side there. Thomas Ulrich up in front there. Last lap 133.831. Then we've got Rodders 9 seconds behind him. Last lap was a 135.078. Then we've got Scott Free in 3rd position, chasing down Rodders. Scott's in the BM. His last time was 134.694. One of the few to cross the 135 barrier into the 134 territory. Yeah, one of 5 to cross the 135 barrier. Scott currently running in 3rd place. Bit of a gap behind him of 11 seconds. Dave Crew, who I think will benefit most from the points out there in the current runners, being in 4th place, means that he's going to gain some significant points there and yeah, we'll find out at the end of the race in 19 minutes time where he will eventually finish in the league, but I think it will benefit hugely. Rick Binnersley, great position for Rick, and I don't mean that great position for him as if, you know, he's in unfamiliar territory, but this is a good race for him. He'll be streaming this on his own little on his own channel and so on, and he'll be pleased, I think is what I'm trying to say, with his current position of 5th place. Rick's last lap was a 1:35.1, and his best lap, guess what? One of those who broached the 1:35 mark with a 1:34.9. That's pretty quick. What was your sort of quick times around here, John?
Oh, if I were below 1:35.5, I was happy. I mean, my qualifying time were around that spot, and I didn't even break the 1:36.0 in race fuel before the pit stop. So yeah, those laps are.
So they're quite quick, aren't they? Thorsten is the only one that's broken a 1:34 barrier. I mean, unbelievably, you know, 1:33.4. I mean, that's super quick.
Yeah, it's a bit, you know, when you sit there and you try the hardest you can and you're a couple of seconds behind, you start to wonder, you know, whether for those 2 seconds.
Yeah. With Beer currently running in 7th place, Beer's last lap was invalid, but his best lap was 1:35.2. On the wing with Beer, looking back, we can see our friend Visa, MasterCard, debit card, HSBC, Everloan, whatever. Visa is, I think it's Visa actually. He is only 0.7 of a second behind there as he closes up, coming into the Sach curve, the Sach curve. I don't know how you say it. But Beer is currently running in 7th. Visa, as we're looking at him there, currently running in 8th. Helmet in 9th place, as we said, you know, will ultimately win this league. You know, he didn't even have to go out there tonight, John. You know, mathematically, no one can beat him.
There was a bit of a discussion on Discord about this, and if he did really badly and Hacks won the race, I think there was a theoretical chance for him to actually beat him, but I think we found a little bit of a loophole in the system where if he didn't race today, no one could beat him, so he actually risked maybe not winning the league by participating.
Wow. Well, you know, like I said, I had a chat earlier on with Rodders about the scores and the doors, and it just confused me. More than 1 and 1 equals 2 is too difficult for me to work out. So he's going to join us later to give, some clarity with regards to the scores and the doors. FX 9 seconds behind Helmet, currently running with a 1:35.7 on his last lap. But again, you know, his fastest was 1:35.1. That's pretty good. FX being hunted down there by the Audi. Audi's done well out there tonight, John, your Norwegian brother. He's currently 11th. His best time was a 1:35.2, and his last lap was a 1:36.0. So I mean, he's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's used a little bit of time to get back in shape. He was very good for a length of time this summer, this autumn, and then he had a leave of absence after playing around with his wheel, and he hasn't quite caught up to speed yet after, but he's starting to get there. So he's doing all right tonight.
Yeah, good for him. So as I said, you know, Audi currently running out there in 11th place. CSAM, who has been up and down like a yo-yo tonight. You know, middle runner, then up at the top, then at the bottom. A couple of little bit of door shuffling going on, but now he's got some space in front, space behind. He's now chasing down Audi. He's currently running in 12th place. His last lap was invalid, but his top time was 1:35.3. Quite unusual to see CSAM. I think he's off pace. I don't think that, quite unusual to see him off pace, I mean. I don't think he's at his best out there tonight. CSAM is almost always a top runner. Why do you think that is, John? Just speculation I'm just putting out there. Do you think it's the track? Do you think it's the car? What?
I think it's the ballast. I don't think he does. He likes to handle well the ballast. I mean, take a pick any of the options you have really, but he has a lot of ballast, so 107 kilos, and I think it affects his driving quite a lot. It's hard to say whether it's more than others or not, but he has a lot of ballast, and we've seen it a couple of times before. He he's not at the top there when he has a lot of ballast.
Yeah, and I think that's understandably, isn't it? I mean, 100 kilos of ballast, that's 220 pounds. You know, I mean, that's 100 kilos. 100 kilos is, you know, a well-fed man. So it's like having another passenger in the car. And when the car only weighs 1,100 kilos as it is, you know, you're having an additional tenth on there. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It is the ballast. Of course, it's 107 kilos is the lot. In fact, if I just have a quick look down the line, it's the heaviest out there. Even Rodders is only carrying 79 kilos. And the next one down there is Pinpoint with 79 kilos. So, yeah, I don't think he's a fan of the formula in which we've chosen to work out the ballast and how much you're awarded, which is always down to sort of average speeds and so forth. But yeah, well, CSAM 12th anyway, so you know, good luck to him for the rest of the race of 13 minutes, etc. Charger currently running 13th out there. He's not running any ballast. I don't understand why that's the case of him not running any ballast, John, because he's done, you know, he's done 3 races of the league so far. He got disqualified from race 3 at Euro Speedway Lausitring, and then he didn't finish on race 4, but he participated in race 1, 2 and 5, and ballast was brought in from race 2, I believe. So I don't understand why he's got no ballast.
I think that's a slip up, to be frank. He should have picked up ballast from the last race, or why he didn't, I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah, it's a bit, yeah. I'm not trying to create a conspiracy theory here. Charger's got no ballast, but you know, he's running 12th at the minute, and that is just, you know what, I'm going to flip this around. That is testament to the talent of CSAM, who is out there currently 1 in front of Charger in 11th place, is carrying 107 kilos of ballast, and whose fastest lap has been a 1:35.387. Versus Charger's fastest lap of a 1:35.2. So, you know, 1/10, you know, slower than Charger as a result of that ballast, and, you know, still in front of him. So fair play, CSAM, to flip it on its head. Gabsy in 14th place. Oh dear, look at the state of that Audi there. I think we've got a wing mirror that's been smashed up. We've got a bonnet that's been repaired by a 4-week panel beater on an apprenticeship course. Oh dear. But 14th nonetheless. Gabsy out there carrying a ballast of 15 kilos. Chasing down Charger, of course, who's got none. Marco out there in 15th place. Having a great battle earlier on with Debug, Pazza and Visa. I'm sure it's Visa or Visor, whatever. Debug, as I said, in 16th place. Oh, and we just saw there, didn't we? Marco, I think that was Marco. Let's have a double check. No, I think that was someone getting out of the way. It was Marco. Yeah, I think Marco just had a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, he's
coming out of the Spitz curve, I think.
Yeah, there's a few treacherous turns here when you go, especially as your tires start to wear and you're too early on the pedal, you start to spin. These cars have no traction control, so
yes,
gotta be careful.
And coming out of that hairpin, especially in these DTMs, in this particular sim, I mean, you're wise to sort of early change, aren't you, to second gear to try and gain some traction by low revs rather than, you know, just floor it in first. We've seen a lot of people just floor it and spin off. I mean, that's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, if you floor it in first at the start, you spin around, so that tells you how the power of these engines of these cars. They spin in first. That's
Yep. Pazza out there in 17th. Good for him. Nippone out there in 18th place. Pinpoint, who had that problem at the very beginning there and who pitted behind anyone else, and yeah, you know, has had a new style of front bumper put on with blue tack by the looks of things. Robert De Vries from, I believe that's France. Oh no, it's from the Netherlands. Out there in the Merc, currently in 20th. Then we've got Al Gartner, the lovely Al out there in an Audi which is in pristine condition, not a scratch on it. He's running in 21st. And the last runner for those that are valid out there, not retired, is Fredrikos Wagner from Greece. And he's out there at the minute in 22nd. Back up to our front runner, Thorsten Ulrich. What a show from this man, John D. 7 seconds in front of Rodders.
Oh yeah, he's a fast driver. He's a really fast driver, and I mean 43 kilos of ballast is not too much for him, and he's doing really well. He managed to show up early today and actually participate in qualifying, which he couldn't last race and had to struggle in the pack. And today he shows his quality by running away with it.
Yeah, running away he is. 8.5 seconds in front of Rodders. Rodders, fair play, is carrying 79 kilos of ballast, but Thorsten is carrying 43 kilos. Third place though is Scott Free. Good for him, Scott Free, I say, to be in third place with that sort of field out there. Scott is carrying 10 kilos of ballast, and he's 5 seconds behind Rodders. And we saw a bit of a DRS war earlier on in the battle between Scott Free and Rodders down through the Parabolica into the Spitz curve, the sort of inside-outside game. Eventually Rodders winning that game and just pulling away a bit. But Scott Free, one of our newer members in RWB, but that's a good place for him to be, isn't it? Third place.
It definitely is. He had a few races where he'd been a bit high up but fallen back as the race has been going on, but he seems to be holding on to third pretty well today, and he's been getting faster and faster in the few weeks he's been in the club. I don't think he's been here for too long, and he's just getting faster and faster. So yeah, he's a man to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Good for you, Scott. Dave Crew, who I'm championing tonight, because I think he will benefit more out of anyone in the top sort of 5 this evening by virtue of being up there in 4th place. Let me just double check here. Now, Rodders, yeah, he will. Dave Crew will benefit better than anybody else up there. He's currently running 4th, so he's likely to net himself 38 points. And on top of his current points that he'd be, that will make him 170, and that will put him in 2nd place. Now Rodders is on 117, and he's currently running in 2nd, which is 42, which will take Rodders up to 159. So Dave Crew currently 4th in the league, but if he keeps the position he's currently in, he will finish 2nd. And that's bloody good news for him.
Yeah, Dave is a solid racer. I had an amazing battle with him the last race on Nurbergring, I believe it was. We were fighting each other for 20 minutes, and it was decided on the last lap. He's a steady driver. He rarely does the big mistakes, and he's one of those that just do lap after lap after lap on a very similar lap time. So he has the consistency to be up there, and he shows it race after race.
Yeah. Well, look, we've got 6.5 minutes left of this race. First, second and third we'll speak to. We'll take the end of race commentary. We'll make that fairly quick because I'm going to give Rodders stage to talk to us about the scores and the doors and to close the league off. But for me, my racer of the event is going to go to Dave Crew. And if you've got a comment as to who you think racer of the event will be, please by all means chuck it in YouTube. John, I know you've not recently joined us, but I'm going to go for Dave Crew for all the reasons I've mentioned. Have you got anyone else in particular that you're looking at, or do you want to validate that?
No, Dave Crew is absolutely a choice for the racer of the event award. Also, I think Rick is there in the contention, but I will still give it to Dave, I believe. Simply
terrible news, John.
Oh.
Sorry, terrible news. Audi is out of the league. He's out of the race.
That's a damaged engine, I promise you. He will not stop unless he can't continue.
Yeah, that must be a damaged engine. What a shame, with only 5 minutes left, having a good battle with Charger. So he was right up there, 10th place. 10th place now taken by FX. Sadly, Audi is out. What a shame. Never mind. Sharpen the axe, go kill someone. Right, FX in 10th place. So FX is now up there in 10th place. What a shame, but Audi's absolutely livid about that. Anyway, Debug we mentioned, Marco now chasing Debug. Pazza has done pretty well out there. Napone still out there. Pinpoint still out there. Not had a very good race, Pinpoint, but more importantly, still out there. I think it was on lap 3, had a bit of an off, hit the wall, and had to come into the pits. He came into the pits early and repaired the car and went back out there and carried on. Charger there just got a slowdown penalty for track limits abuse. Thank you, Cos, for letting us know that as John said, it must have been his engine. He just simply wouldn't give in otherwise. So Audi's engine gave up.
Yeah, Cos has confirmed it in the YouTube chat as well. Engine damage for Audi.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. Okay, look, 3 minutes left. Let's not take away from this man. Thorsten Ulrich out there with Rodders in second place. Thorsten's got a 9.5 second gap and is now making his way through the back runners. Just there, coming down the Parabolica, you saw the blue and yellow shading of Rodders' AMG. But I don't think at this stage that, or any stage actually, that there's been any threat to Thorsten. He's had a commanding lead from pretty much the beginning, and has extended away and just created his own little bubble of, no challenge. Personally, I don't know what it's like to be out there at the front like that, but you do, John. Do you? How do you know whether you're going fast enough?
Well, you see the seconds of your lead increase, don't you? I mean, but I mean, he had the race made a bit for him as well, didn't he? Because as you said, Scott Free and Rodders were fighting it out a bit in the 2 spots behind him, and that's always a blessing for the guy in front because he can do his race and do his laps, and the 2 fighting behind will lose time when they are fighting. So. But when you have a gap, you do your race and you are on your own, and you just keep your concentration and trot on, and you usually, if you avoid the big mistakes, you get home with.
Dave Crew challenging Scott Free. Wonderful. Dave Crew and Rick Binnersley through past Scott Free. Scott Free now down into 5th place. Terrible front end damage there. Why is he coming in now? Why come in now? You've got 2 minutes left, Scott. You're not going to be able to repair the car and get out. Sometimes you've got to make this way up, if you're not John, as to whether to carry on and save the day or come in and repair. And with only 1 minute 50 seconds left, I don't know what he's trying to achieve.
No, he might be stuck. He's actually replacing just the tires, is he? No, he's repairing as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to drop significant places there, but so I think a flawed strategy. We'll see where he does eventually join, but Dave Crew now up into 3rd place, being challenged by Rick Binnersley still, and Rick has got that line coming into the Spitz curve, so wonderful move by Rick. Dave Crew now back down into 4th, really good little battle there. I'm not sure what Scott Free was thinking, unless of course it was a drive-through or a stop and go, but I didn't see any sign for that, did you?
No, I didn't see any sign for it either, and he did the pit stop, and you can see his tires was replaced. So I think he had a crash and decided to go in and repair. I don't know if it was a bit rash or if he had to. That's something we have to clarify later.
Yeah. Well, Rick Binnersley up in 3rd place. As happy for him as I would be if that was Dave Crew. Bloody great to see Rick up there. Thoroughly deserved of 3rd place, but the race is not over yet. The leader has gone past the line. He's going down the Parabolica now, so he's on his last lap, which means that these guys have still got another lap to go. And riding in cockpit with Dave Crew challenging Rick Binnersley, just going through the north curve here, challenging Rick Binnersley for that position. You can't blame him either. He's got 1 lap to make a difference. If he's going to take 3rd place, now's the time to do it. But I don't think it will make that much of a difference, really, with regards to the points. Now. Yeah, and he's got DRS, exactly. Where, of course, Rick Binnersley hasn't, and he's got the legs coming into the Spitz curve, definitely got the legs. Rick goes defensive on the inside. Dave is now right alongside. They just just squeezes him on the apex, but you know,
No, that was clean. That was okay.
clean
He was
racing.
braking.
Absolutely,
a bit
but
later, taking a wider line.
yeah. Now Rick Binnessy is 117 points, same as Rodders in the league currently. So you know, in third place, he's pretty much going to net himself 4 points. So, Dave, you're fighting for 2 points essentially. Look at what you've got left of the race and weigh that up with the likelihood of getting that position away from him and the points that you'd secure as a result of not. Because right now, I think you'll find that the position you're in is good enough to bump you up significantly. Good racing by these two. Good racing all round, actually, John. Pretty much from everybody.
Yeah, there wasn't too much noise today about Scruff, so I think it was a fairly clean race. There's always some things happening.
Oh, and there we saw Charger just looked like he just hit Gabsy on the inside. The car almost looked offset. It didn't look like he turned into him. It looked like he'd lost control under braking.
Yeah, throttle on a bit early, I'm guessing.
Yeah, very likely. But Gabsy secured that position from Charger, so that Gabsy up to 10th place on the last lap as well. I'm pretty guaranteed that if I was in voice channel right now, I reckon I would have heard Charger say, "Oh crikey, sorry." You know, there was respectful driving.
He's usually pretty quick to apologise when he do a mistake, so I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, it didn't look like it turned into him. It looked like it lost control on under braking, or as you say, just a reapplication of throttle. But you know, it's not going to stop him. He's still challenging through the south curve, the double right-hander now along to the main straight. And Gabsy will cross the line in 11th place, sorry, 10th place, Charger in 11th. On to Auto Director then for the remainder. There we see the final runners, Thorsten, Rodders and Rick, first, second and third. John, my friend, would you do me the honours and just take notes of these? You know, you do the honours for the end of race, please.
Top 3 plus Dave.
Top 3 plus Dave, yeah. So there we go, top 3. We're going to talk to Dave. He's our racer of the event. Then we've got Alwyn. Good to see him up there. Beer and Helmet, FX and CSAM, Gabsy and Charger, Scott Free. All of those have got stories to tell from this race. Quite interesting. We haven't got time on this stream to talk to all of them, otherwise we would. Marco's got a story to tell. Pazza has got a story to tell. Napone was up and down like a yo-yo on speed. Pinpoint had that problem out in the first couple of laps. Yeah, you know, it was a bloody good race and a great way to finish the DTM 2016 League as well. Absolutely marvellous. Right, well, John has done his bit as our delayed number 2. We've now pulled in the first, second and third positions and, of course, our racer of the event. I'm going to hand over now to John, who will interview the top 3, and then I'll come and speak to Dave. And then we will finish off by handing the floor to Rodders to perhaps give some clarity with regards to the final positions of the league. Dave, over to you. Wrong. John, over to you.
Yeah, let's start with the winner, Thorsten. You seem to have a comfortable race today. How was the start, and did you pull off quite early, or was it a bit of a fight in the beginning?
Yeah, thank you. At first, yeah, the car was pretty decent to drive actually. Even though through esport, I don't really have enough time to practice a lot, but the setup felt good from the first lap. So yeah, it was nice and steady. Had some luck, the guys behind fighting in the first laps, but yeah, it was good fun.
Yes. Yeah, so good car and people fighting behind you. You just stretched your legs and you just ran away with it.
Yeah, basically it was. I had some luck, but the pace was good. I was pretty consistent even with the worn tires. So
And how was the tires on this lap on this race? I mean, I noticed myself that the tires got really hot at the end of the first stint before I managed to crash out. But mine was looking at 110, 115 degrees. I don't know how your.
they were hot, but as my car is always a bit oversteery, so on this track I could pretty good handle it. So it was okay
All right.
for me.
All right. Congrats to you. Let's go to Rick. Rick, you had a pretty good race today. You do have the speed, but you haven't had the best of results in this league. But third place today must be really good for you.
Yeah. No, I've not had probably the best of results really in this league, but from a couple of mistakes and silly little things going wrong. So it was nice to get on the podium and at long last. I think I could have had one a couple of races ago, but I messed it up. So yeah, it was good, and it was a good battle right at the end of the race with Dave. So nice, clean battle. So made the race enjoyable as well.
Yeah, we had a little bit of look at that at the end of the stream where you and Dave were trading a bit of DRS, and yeah, we looked there at the last lap on the hairpin. There was a bit of a nervous situation there. Who's going to get in front, and will you break it both at the correct time and not smash into each other?
Now, luckily, we got through the corner without touching anything, so that was all right.
Yeah, well, that's a good result for you. So, Rodders, do you have time, or are you busy with the points sorting?
I'm trying the points, but I'll give a quick one. I must admit, I really, really wanted that, but I think Ulrich, even without the gap in ballast, I think he would probably have taken that one. He's great pace, but I just kept plugging away. Scott Free kept me super honest. I'm gutted for him. I know nothing taken away from Rick, but he had third in the bag and just a bit of bad luck with the looks of it near the end. But if I made one wee mistake, he was passed, and it was odd. I think he was making just wee mistakes and dropping back because his pace, I think, was as good, if not slightly better than mine when he was putting a good lap in. But I just kept lap after lap. Ulrich made a wee mistake and gave me hope, but I was kind of I just kept it down, hoping he might make another. But no, good win to Ulrich, and I'm glad we're second. Enjoyed that last race.
All right, that was the interview round.
Awesome.
Taking over.
Thank you, John. Now, look, racer of the event. It was the easiest to not even ask for a vote, but instantly just say it was Dave Crew. Dave, you're our racer of the event. I don't think I'm not sure whether you are going to get an extra point or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that your position of fourth in parity with points that you will earn was actually the better out of anybody in the top 5. So the position that you came, the points that you will earn for coming there, actually has better effect for you in the overall league than anyone else. And for the tight racing that you had, the respectful way in which you were treating your challenges, and the continual pressure that you put on for the last few laps was quite something. It was great to watch, mate. So well done. What do you want to say? Apart from thanking your mother and your teacher and everyone else.
Yeah.
No, it's a great race. What was it like for you?
It's the V8, wasn't it? See?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, I got that in as well. FX will be punching me later, but yeah, I made sure I got that in.
But no, it was a great race with Rick in the first half of the race, in the first stint as well, and there was 3 or 4 of us together for most of it. It was a really good battle, and I dropped in a lap or 2 early. I thought I'd take a risk because the left front was cooked, and I went in a lap early and it actually gave me a 5-second lead after a round of pit stops. And I made a mistake in the last sector coming round onto the start-finish straight, which cost me a few seconds. And once Rick got a sniff of that, he was right up to me. So
wasn't he just?
He was, yeah. He didn't let that one go. So
No.
But it was a great race. And that final hairpin, he dealt with that really well. Really well. It was a great race. So and well done to the guys up front as well.
Yeah, well done, Dave. You raced really well. Look, it's been a long night already, and there's a few things we want to talk about. So now I'm going to hand over to Rodders, who's hopefully in a position to be able to clarify first, second, and third positions of the league and any other prizes with Charger.
You give me. I'm basically adjusting helmets average because that's the one that kind of matters at the top. There might be some other micro adjustments. So give me almost there. One more score to edit.
Well, you crack on with that, and while you're cracking on with that, I will talk about 2 major events that we've got coming up. First of all, on the 14th of March is our first endurance event of 2020. If you want to find out about that, you need to come along to racing, to rwbracing.club, and then come along to our Discord. If you haven't signed up for it yet, well, get in there because these places are coming up and being taken really quickly. Is the World Touring Cars and the GT2s 3 hours long. There's a compulsory 15-minute break. We ran it last time and it was very, very popular. So jump on that. If you're not around for that, then there's another event on the 21st. It's our first of our feature events, a dedicated event to one of our members who is having an event in his honour out of support and the time given to RWB, and that's a wonderful Al Gartner. So come along to the Al Gartner tribute race. He's not dead, by the way. He's just retired, but he deserves a feature race, and the leaders of RWB have arranged that. So that's great. Now, how are you fixed now, Rodders?
Yep, I'm ready. So
right, over to you.
So I guess I'll read out the top. I can go for the top 10. I'm pretty sure these will be accurate. So as expected, in first place, Helmet's taking the win with 212 points, 15 ahead of Hacks. So it was a real shame Hacks couldn't make it. You know, Hacks could have won that race. He definitely would have closed it, and it would have been pretty tight. But well done to Helmet.
Well done, Helmet.
In third place has Terry and Dave. Oh, sorry, you're in there, Helmet. Sorry, mate.
No, thank you. I'm a shame Hacks couldn't make it, though, because it would have made for a really interesting race, I think.
Aye. I think you would have taken it, even if I hadn't missed some and Force hadn't had. I think you would have squeaked. You know,
I don't know, my performance was pretty grim to start. I did message Hacks and apologise. I really did miss him because I thought it would have been a really good race tonight.
Aye, it was a shame. In third place, 170 is Terry and Dave. So well done to Dave.
Cool.
Good job, mate.
Nice one, dude. And I managed to scrape fourth, 163 points ahead of Ulrich. So, and Ulrich's tied for fifth with Rick with 157. Then in seventh is John D, 139. Force number one, unfortunately, slipped down to eighth with 136. CSAM with 132 in ninth, and Scott Free. Oh, he'll be ruining that last one, but he's the last of the top 10 with 130.
What a shame. What a shame. Scott, I see you're in channel, actually. Rodders, not to cut that off, but thank you very much for that. And we'll come back to you and Charger, perhaps, to close the league down. I don't know whether you're in a position to announce if there are any prizes for it or anything like that. But before I hand over to you to perhaps close that down, and then we'll close the stream. Scott Free, I see you're in channel. Good to see you in the channel. Great to watch you race out there. I just got one question, and that is, why did you pit right at the very end rather than just keep going?
I lost the front bumper and I thought I'd keep going, but in Sector 3 I had nothing, absolutely nothing. So I said instead of going around and hitting people, I'd go in and fix the bumper, which took 50 seconds, which I wasn't expecting that long.
Well, fair play. I think a majority of people would have just said, well, there's only a minute and a half left, just keep going. But that's a fair strategy call to make. I think, at the end of the day, I think you had a great race, and as Rodders said in the interview there, you certainly kept him busy for a little while, and certainly had third place in the back. Bit of a shame, but you performed well, so well done, and look forward to seeing you race some more out there. Now, Rodders and Charger, are we in a position to perhaps announce any prizes? I'm not sure if there are any.
Yes, there are. Yeah.
Great.
Well, first place goes to Helmet. Well done, Helmet. 2,000 VRP.
Oh, thank you, mate. Nice one.
The second prize, we're not doing first, second, and third because we like to mix it up. The second prize is going to go to Menacing Skull.
Munching Skull. Munching. Yeah. Well done, Muncher.
And he left tonight. He quit tonight, but he did do 5 races, and he was the most improved. So he gets 1,100 VRP. That's the next one down. We can't get 1,000 or 1,500. So, and the third one goes to best newcomer, Scott Free, with 1,100.
Scott Free, well done.
Hey, thank you very much.
Definitely.
What does Scott get?
Mate. He gets 1,100. He gets 1,100 VRP.
Is there not a prize for best ex-honcho? No.
Afraid not, old boy. No,
there is, but I won't mention it on stream.
Afraid not.
That's called rigging.
Nor is there a prize for the best commentator or non-exec chair. We get fucking nothing, not a thing.
We'll have a beer after, buddy, and we'll bitch and moan about these.
Well, that's really great. Thank you. I think who was the sponsor of this event? I think it was Speed, wasn't it?
Yeah, Speed.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Speed. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next sort of big thing on the horizon is. Charger, do you want to take this sort of stage to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean,
the 21st and the 14th that I've mentioned, which are one-offs, aren't they? But
yeah,
AMS around the corner.
we've got 3 one-offs coming up. The next one hasn't been announced on the 7th, but the 14th and 21st are known. Yeah, we've got Al Gartner's race on the 21st, and we've got the start of the yearly endurance race on the 14th that Rodders has arranged, and that'll be multi-sim. But yeah, AMS2 is coming around the corner as well, so we're going to be testing that in the background to see what we can do with that.
Sweet. It looks sweet.
Yeah, I haven't raced it yet.
Yep. Okay. So AMS2 around the corner. You're testing that. On the 7th, we're going to be doing what?
That's to be announced.
Okay, to be announced. Well, there you go.
It's
And you've heard about the 13th, the 14th, and also on the 21st, I believe it is, 14th. Yeah, 21st. 14th endurance, get in there. That's going to be great. 3 hours worth. Absolutely bloody brilliant. And on the 21st, we've got the Al Gartner race, which is the tribute race. He's not dead, he's just retired. That's what we have to keep telling everybody. But it's the tribute to Al Gartner on the 21st. Not dead, just retired, just retired. Just keep remembering that. Right,
I'd like to give out a shout out to Frederico Svanger as well. I mean, that guy just keeps on going. You know, he gets out of the way, but he makes sure he finishes the races that he gets in. Well played.
Well,
that's
there
dedication.
You go.
Well done.
Yep, you can't hear better than that. That's a good, that's a good shout for him, Frederico Svanger. Well done. You heard it from the organisers there. Always welcome, and very conscientious of where you are in the field as it progresses through the race. And obviously, people are noticing that you're not being difficult to pass or whatever. And you just keep going. I mean, you can't always win, can you? You can't have a field full of winners. There are always people that are going to be at the back, and it's how you conduct yourself when you are. And it's been noted, so well done to you. I think that's it, isn't it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Right, there you go. Well, that was the conclusion of the DTM 2016 cars. 6 locations. We're at Portimao, we're at Zolder, we're at Eurospeedway Lausitring, we're at Monza, then Nurbergring, and we finished off on Hockenheimring. Ironically, the last race in the real DTM League being on the October. 2nd and the 4th of October 2020 is the last of 10 races of the real DTM League, and it's at Hockenheim, and it was our last one as well at Hockenheim.
Cool. Can I say a quick word?
Yeah, of course you can.
Just want to thank everyone that attended. I think this is one of the best attended leagues, and it really, really makes a difference for everyone that takes part. So, I'm not doing the horrible, it's the taking part that counts, because it's not, but taking part does really count, if you know what I mean. It makes a big difference to everyone. So 27 racers in the last race is one of our best, I think, at the end of a league. So hats off to everyone for taking part.
Yeah, absolutely. Metaphoric virtual clap to everyone. Very well done. I missed 2 of the races, 2 of the races commentating, but watched them all, and obviously I've given credit to my RWB brothers who stood in for me. But yeah, really bloody great, and Rodders, as well said, I think. Look, we've had a long night, and people now want to go away and smoke themselves after death and drink tea and beer. So we'll bring this stream to a close. Thanks very much. Join us again next time. Where? We don't know. What car? We don't know. All we do know is it will be on Saturday. So you know what we say? Don't race alone. Race RWB. Till next time then. Bye-bye.